Tyson vs. Paul script was fully leaked all the way down to the bow Jake did in round 8. This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight.
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul just mock every single person who has ever poured their heart into boxing. That's right, guys. The sport we all love was reduced to a 60 million scam. And who footed the bill? You, the fans. Some poor souls even forked out over $1,900 for ringside seats to witness what turned out to be a glorified clown show. Honestly, they must be bawling their eyes out right now, realizing they got scammed into watching a scripted circus act.
Reason and one reason only, and that is the money. He's getting paid so much money to do this, so that tells me he's getting bought. So again, it is sad that someone like Mike Tyson...
Oh, but don't worry. Jake and Mike split the loot, probably half and half, and are now busy paying their bills. Let me ask you this. What kind of bills require you to destroy not just a fight, but an entire legacy? Pay-per-view thinking they were about to witness an epic clash. Instead, they got what felt like a YouTube parody of a real fight. The only thing missing was Jake vlogging mid-round about how he's revolutionizing boxing.
It seemed like he was just going through the motions, and now we might know why. After the fight happened, everyone all over the sport started debating whether it was all just a cash grab. But can we really...
And then Jake had the audacity to say, "I didn't want to hurt Mike." Oh please, let's not pretend this was some noble act of restraint. Jake Paul isn't a hero sparing the legend. He's a businessman milking every drop of Tyson's legacy for his own profit. And Tyson, let's be honest, he knew exactly what this was. He literally said he took the fight to pay his bills. Jake, you were already universally despised, but congrats. You just made even your diehard fans loathe you. And Tyson, you spent your life building a reputation only to flush it down for this?
How? Mike Tyson's an absolute legend and one of the greatest fighters of all time. How can this YouTuber be such a great fighter?
The day boxing decided to humiliate itself beyond redemption was the day Jake Paul, a YouTuber who thinks controversy is a talent, defeated Mike Tyson, a literal icon of the sport. Pause for a second and let that absurdity sink in. Tyson, the man who used to annihilate legends, is now just a prop in Jake Paul's never-ending ego parade. If that doesn't make your blood boil, don't worry, it gets worse.
Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight.
Interesting.
Script. How so? What do you mean by
It's just
script?
weird. It's just
Like scripted in what way?
no, I don't know. I actually really like Jake Paul. It just seems so. It's odd, bro.
It's a timing.
I mean,
He
it's
fights
obviously
two,
odd.
No, he fights two no names, beats him.
First off, let's talk about the numbers because they are downright insulting. Over 72,000 people showed up for this joke of a fight. More than $60 million was made. Jake walked away with $40 million. Tyson with $20 million and fans. Fans got a front row seat to the death of boxing's dignity. That's not a fight. That's a daylight robbery wrapped in boxing gloves.
Many are upset over the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, with some people claiming that it was rigged because many people bet a lot of money and they lost a lot of money. Allegedly, there's this script that got leaked showing how the fight was supposed to go down between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
And the real slap in the face is the script. Days before this circus act, a full breakdown of the fight magically leaked online. Fans dismissed it as a joke because, let's face it, no one wants to believe their heroes are in on a scam. But then the fight happened, and guess what? Every single detail of that script played out. Tyson's vintage combos, straight from the script. Jake's youthful energy, yup, scripted too. Tyson conveniently running out of gas after the first round? Check. This wasn't boxing. It was amateur theater with a multi-million-dollar budget.
Mike Tyson, it's such an honor. Let's give it up for Mike, bro. He's a legend. He's the greatest to ever do it.
Fans, bless their hearts, poured their souls and their wallets into this debacle. Some paid absurd pay-per-view fees. Others bet their savings, only to see their hopes crushed faster than a Tyson uppercut. And when they tried to stream the fight, Netflix couldn't even keep its servers up. The result? Lawsuits flying in from furious fans who now feel about as valued as Jake Paul's boxing career. Millions lost in bets. And the sport of boxing? It's been publicly humiliated yet again.
Fighters seem to think there's no way Jake wins. They were even betting millions against Jake here. This is what Jake had to say about the rumor.
He's scared or something. I don't know, but it pisses me off. I guess I'm just used to having to carry the promotions anyway, so.
We will know what happens early morning tomorrow. Subscribe if you hope this fight happens.
Let's break down the fight, if we can even call it that. The first round gave fans a tiny sliver of hope as Tyson came out with flashes of his old brilliance. But by round 5, the script's knockout ending mysteriously morphed into Jake winning by decision. No drama, no real fight. Just more evidence that we'd been conned.
Round 1, opening bell rings and Tyson is showing flashes of his old form but slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive but his breathing grows heavier. Round 3, Paul gains confidence and lands a sharp right that stuns Tyson. That's exactly what happened.
Boxing legends like the Carl Frockert didn't hold back, calling out the suspicious no knockout clause and claiming Tyson wasn't even allowed to fight properly. Imagine that. A man who once ruled the sport now forced to hold back for the sake of Jake Paul's ego. Evander Holyfield chimed in too, ripping Tyson's performance apart and hinting that the whole thing reeked of manipulation.
Then round 4 and 5, the fatigue sets in strong for Tyson and Jake is landing a bunch of hits. Round 6, Jake showboats, which is the tongue thing he did here. Then on round 7, Jake plays it safe to not KO Mike. And round 8 wins by decision and bows at the end. This is crazy. Subscribe and if you want to read it yourself, it's right here.
And Tyson? The man was in no shape to fight. This wasn't a comeback. It was a desperate attempt to pay his bills. Let's not forget Tyson's health issues leading up to this disaster. 8 blood transfusions, massive weight loss, and ulcers that nearly killed him. And he was in the hospital just days before the fight. But sure, let's throw him in the ring and call it a sporting event. Even Texas's athletic commission thought this was fine. That's like handing a broken car a clean bill of health and calling it race ready. Revolutionizing boxing.
It seemed like he was just going through the motions, and now we might know why. After the fight happened, everyone all over the sport started debating whether it was all just a cash grab. But can we really...
And then Jake had the audacity to say, I didn't want to hurt Mike. Oh please, let's not pretend this was some noble act of restraint. Jake Paul isn't a hero sparing the legend. He's a businessman milking every drop of Tyson's legacy for his own profit. And Tyson, let's be honest, he knew exactly what this was. He literally said he took the fight to pay his bills. Then Tyson said it himself. I did it for my bills. Let that sink in. This is the same Tyson who used to rule the boxing world, reduced to being a prop in Jake Paul's latest cash grab. It wasn't inspiring, it was heartbreaking. Fans didn't pay to see their hero struggle to stay upright. They paid to relive the glory days, not to watch Jake Paul prance around like he just conquered Mount Everest.
And tweeted that he almost died over the summer. He said, he had a bunch of blood transfusions, just had to fight to get healthy, and then his performance yesterday against Jake Paul. Just your thoughts on what we saw.
Mike Tyson was right, and I was wrong.
Even the experts couldn't ignore how ridiculous this was. Analysts like Dr. Bryan broke down Tyson's performance with cold, hard facts. No power, sluggish movements, and a body that clearly wasn't fit for the ring. It wasn't nostalgia, it was exploitation. And Jake Paul? Let's be real. Fighting a 58-year-old man who's barely hanging on isn't bravery, it's cowardice. There's no glory in beating up someone old enough to be your dad and calling it a victory.
Power at all. No. He hit you with one. You gave him the tongue.
Only because the crowd, got turned up. But
It was a betrayal. A betrayal of Tyson's legacy, the fans' trust, and boxing itself. What should have been an epic clash became a punchline, a meme, a cautionary tale of how low this sport has sunk. Fans deserved better. Tyson deserved better. And boxing? It may never recover from this circus act.
That catches him flush on the chin. Tyson's leg buckle and he drops to the canvas. Then he's out for the count, but Tyson, despite his warrior heart, cannot beat the 10 count. Winner Jake Paul by KO. What?
Jake's entire career is built on one thing: fight no-names, drum up hype, and deliver the bare minimum. And now, he's taken it a step further by exploiting a boxing legend who had no business being in the ring. When people called out this disaster, Jake, as predictable as ever, shrugged it off with his trademark arrogance. I'm here to entertain. People love to hate me. We don't just hate you, Jake. We hate what you've done to boxing. You turned it into a joke and then had the audacity to act like you're doing us a favor.
Jake Paul was selling it. I'm gonna kill Mike Tyson. I'm gonna fuck him up. And what happened? He showed mercy to Mike Tyson in the ring because Mike Tyson just didn't have it anymore. He had no legs under him. If you don't want to hurt the guy, why are you fighting him? Just to con us? To con people into buying more Netflix subscriptions? This fight sucked.
Let's not forget how he addressed the criticism about the fight being scripted. Instead of owning up to the debacle, Jake blamed Tyson for just surviving and not engaging enough.
Anything, but to my children, I'm nobody. But that night, they're gonna find out their father's very special.
Of course, in Jake's delusional world, nothing is ever his fault. The leaked script? The painfully predictable outcome? Not his problem. This wasn't a boxing match. It was a pre-rehearsed play, and everyone knew it. Yet Jake still managed to walk away with $40 million, laughing all the way to the bank while fans were left holding the bag. But Tyson admitted he fought not for glory, but to keep his finances afloat. Watching him struggle in the ring, gasping for air while Jake danced around pretending to be a legitimate boxer, was painful. Tyson deserved better. We, the fans, deserve better.
If I hadn't saw that, I would be worried that this fight may not.
And then there's the fan experience, or lack thereof. Pay-per-view viewers couldn't even get a proper stream thanks to Netflix's servers crashing. Imagine shelling out your hard-earned money only to watch a buffering screen in a fight that looked choreographed by high school drama students. Fans who bet on the fight lost millions when it played out exactly as the leaked script predicted. Lawsuits are now flooding in, with people accusing Jake and Tyson of fraud. And honestly, they're not wrong. The whole thing reeked of deceit, from the first bell to the scripted ending.
I think I'm gonna have to handle the situation.
You gonna knock him out?
I think I'm gonna hurt him, yeah.
Tyson's revelation.
At the end of the day, it was a scam, a slap in the face to every fan who believed in it, a mockery of a sport that used to mean something. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson didn't just fail to deliver. They actively destroyed any shred of respect people still had for this kind of spectacle. So, to the fans suing over this mess, good luck. You deserve every penny back and then some. To Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, congratulations. You've officially turned boxing into a parody. Hope the payday was worth it. Even boxing legends and analysts couldn't ignore how pathetic this event was. Eddie Hearn called it hard to watch Tyson struggle, which is a polite way of saying it was a disaster. Daniel Cormier pointed out how Tyson's hyped-up training footage was nothing but a smokescreen. By the time the fight rolled around, it was obvious this was never going to be anything more than a poorly executed stunt. Colby Covington didn't hold back either, calling Jake a soft entertainer who couldn't handle real competition. And he's right. Jake's biggest skill isn't boxing. It's tricking people into thinking he's a legitimate athlete.
Nowhere to really be found. We just watched him bite his fucking glove the whole time. Roy Jones in there commentating, talking about his mouthpiece. No, that's just Mike being Mike, biting his fucking glove, doing nothing.
And Tyson? The man was clearly not in shape for this fight. Yet somehow, the Texas Athletic Commission cleared him to fight. It's as if no one cared about Tyson's health. They just wanted their cut of the profits. Tyson's excuses after the fight were equally tragic. I fought for my bills. A man who once dominated the sport reduced to this. It's enough to make any true boxing fan sick.
Fake. This is all for entertainment. It isn't a real fight. It's a stunt. This is a stunt, man.
Fans have every right to be furious. They were promised a clash of legends and instead got a scripted comedy routine. Online backlash was brutal, with people calling it the worst fight in boxing history. Memes of Jake dodging imaginary punches and Tyson biting his gloves in frustration were everywhere. This event didn't just disappoint fans, it mocked them. It spat in the face of everyone who loves this sport and what it stands for.